NBA, man. I've been waiting to get into this. So, guys, the trade deadline just ended last Thursday. If you look on the past episodes, I did an episode where I graded and just honestly, it was just a reaction. I didn't even know what to say to the Luka AD trade. I'm just like, bro, this is crazy. I said that like 10 times in that recording. But man, let's get into that NBA trade grades. Let's save the Luka AD one for a little later. All right. So a big one here. De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs. Levine made his way to the Kings. They moved some pieces around. What you think about this one?
Well, I think for that one,
I thought the Spurs were going to give up more than what they did.
I think it's an A for the Spurs. I think it's a B for the Kings. I think De'Aaron Fox is a great fit. He was going to leave and try to go to San Antonio anyway. I think it worked out well for Sacramento to get who's actually having a career year, shooting over 50% from the field.
They got 3 firsts and 3 seconds.
Really lost this whole trade because you didn't talk about a third team that was involved in this.
Oh yeah, the Bulls.
The Bulls are they got nothing for this.
They got Zach Collins, Kevin Huerter, Trey Jones, and a first-round pick this year.
But that first-round pick was a pick that they had traded away to the Spurs, so they're just getting that pick back. So that was their own pick that they're getting back. So it's not even a pick.
So is this more so a contract dump for them?
It's more so a mismanagement of their team. Like their executives, man, are making really poor decisions. So if you even look back at a lot of the moves that they've made over the last 3 years, they're giving away players and not getting any picks in return. I'll say this: San Antonio did a great job of not giving up any of their picks, although they have a treasure trove of picks that anybody should have. Sacramento should have gotten more for De'Aaron Fox, who was an all NBA player a couple years ago, AllStar a couple years ago, still put up 25 points a game, and who will be a great running mate with the alien down there.
I dig it, man. Yeah, I really think they could be good co-stars. You look at Fox, if you look at the Spurs, if they're like, all right, we want to be a top team, you got this young talent. Of course, with Wemby, you got Fox. I think Fox is, 27, 28 years old. So his championship window is right there. And then you look at the type of defensive player Fox is. He likes to gamble for steals. And what happens with that? The guy gets around, he drives into the lane, and who do you have down there? One of the best rim protector in the league.
And he covers so much ground because fool is like 7'4", so he's
7'4", 7'3", crazy.
Yeah, he's covering so much ground, and he's quick. It's a good trade for San Antonio. I think one of the things that we don't know is, shout out to Pop, since Pop has been on leave this year. I think it'll be interesting to see if Pop comes back to coach, what kind of progress that they can have with Coach Pop, and coming back with Castle and Fox and Wembanyama, Jeremy Sohan. They have a really good young nucleus, man. It's a really good team where they develop so quickly. Sacramento is cool that DeRozan and Zach LaVine are back together and somewhere else. People sleep on Sabonis, who's leading the league in double doubles, leading the league in rebounds, and putting up crazy numbers this year. So he's having a solid year. Sacramento plays in the Western Conference. We got to talk about the Western Conference is still far more superior than the Eastern Conference.
But the Eastern Conference, they got closer a notch though.
Man, they did not. We might as well talk about that. If the playoffs started today, how many teams for the Eastern Conference would make the playoffs? I can tell you because I already looked it up. There would only be 5 teams out of 16. 11 Western Conference teams would make the playoffs if it started today, and only 5 from the Eastern Conference.
Man, that's better than before. What? Before it was like 3 or 4. All I said was they getting closer. That's all I said. They're getting closer
by an inch, man. Man, the only teams in the Eastern Conference right now that the Western Conference are even afraid of would be Boston because they're battle tested. Cleveland has a good record, but
all right, let's
barely can get out the second round. My fault.
Let's talk Cleveland now. So they traded for DeAndre Hunter. That was a big. I think that was a big trade.
Man, yeah, but they got how many players can you have in your team that's 6'7" and no minutes to share out? I think it says more about they're trying to get an athletic defensive wing to guard Tatum down the stretch in the playoffs. And that's really what it is. Help match up with Tatum and Jaylen Brown so they don't give them too much work in the playoffs. They're all moves to match up against. All the moves everybody's making in the East is a
match up against the Celtics.
That's it.
All right. So we also had the Bucks. So I was talking to my friend Trey. Shout out Trey. This weekend, he's a Bucks fan.
Yeah.
He said he was a big Chris Middleton fan, and then something happened. A couple days later, they traded Chris Middleton after he did something, and they traded for Kyle Kuzma, a more athletic body, and somebody I'm assuming that has the legs or has better legs or better knees, more specifically, to guard Tatum and Brown down the stretch throughout the playoffs.
That's all it is, man. Yeah, man. Bailey and Trey are both heartbroken about that. Shout out to Chris Middleton. I mean, they wouldn't have got their title without him, but you cannot expect Chris Middleton to chase around big athletic wings right now on bad knees, bad ankles. So you got Kyle Kuzma, who people forget is an NBA champion. And he played well in big games down the stretch with the Lakers. So
yeah, and he's been playing with the Wizards, just doing whatever. Now he's back. Now he's going to be back in the playoffs playing meaningful basketball with, Giannis, Dame, and Doc Rivers, guys that are, trying to get a ring.
I'm happy to see Kuz on a real team again.
Yeah. That's exciting.
Not hanging out with a pool boy down there. Pool boy. Yeah, but it's good. They had to do something. The Bucks had to do something to move the needle a little bit forward.
All right, what else we got? The Pistons got Dennis Schroeder. Poor Dennis Schroeder. This guy got traded 3 times in 24 hours.
Man, this all goes back to the dude not signing that extension years ago, trying to get more money.
With the Lakers?
Yes. It ain't been the same for him since. He actually seemed like a good dude, man. So there's no shade. Dennis Schroeder's been a professional, so I mean, and he got traded to Detroit. Detroit's playing good. They're playing good basketball, so we can back up.
All right, man. I'm rocking with Detroit, bro. I love seeing them play, man.
Cunningham and your boy Jalen
Duren. Yeah, I think he's still out, I believe.
Ivy and Durham.
Duren and Ivy. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a good move for him. He's still playing good He's playing on a good team. So.
All right, man. Let's get into it. The Triple L. Luka, LeBron, and the Lakers. So Lakers tried to make one more move to get Mark Williams for the Hornets. A more offensively centered, center, I might say. So it appears they were going all in offense, and this trade got rescinded, later into it because of he had scans or a physical. He didn't pass a physical or whatever. So
this says a lot about Charlotte having a bunch of broke up players on their team.
Hey, you made a comment about the athletic training team. Like, bro, what the hell is y'all doing?
Bro, they got to do something, man. I don't know what to say about the training team. I'm not ever going to be somebody that sits here and acts like I can do their job, right? I'm not saying I can do their job, but what I am saying is if everybody on your team is hurt every game, they gotta do something. And if your athletic program, your training program is so bad that you can't get a player to go past a physical to be traded, then we gotta figure something out, man. Because I was
and then
connect. I was excited about that trade for both teams, man, because I'm a fan of both teams.
And then it was like, they made the deal happen, and it's like, all right, so I'm pretty sure it's like, all right, NBA is a business, right? NFL, all these pro sports leagues are a business. However, you want to keep things as kosher and keep it moving. You still don't want to be in that awkward space. It's like, all right, you guys are the athletic training staff. So it's like, all right, you guys are going forward with this. The guy gets traded. That's like, all right, man, yeah, he's going. We're gonna miss him and whatnot. And he fails the physical or whatever it is. Now he's back. Now you got a dude back on the team that you tried to trade. It's like, what the hell? It's like the trainer. So did the trainer staff not know? Like, were these things they didn't check? That they was like,
or do they just suck? Like you have to think about the Charlotte training staff, man. It's hard for me to say that like there's a good staff. I think the Brandon Miller injury was a freak injury when the way he hurt his wrist. I'm not going to give this smoke for that. But these soft tissue injuries, the LaMelo injury when he hurt his ankle backpedaling, I think that God, like LaMelo, if you hear me somehow, some way, like figure out something, spend some money, call up Steph, call up LeBron, and figure out what they're doing to keep their bodies in shape. Because you are way too good. Like LaMelo Ball is one of the top 10 most popular players in the league that nobody gets to see because he keeps getting injured. And so he's got to figure that out somehow because he is way too good to be hurt this much. He's hurt. Mark Williams is hurt.
All right. So with that being said, him going back and us keeping Dalton Connect, how good can the Lakers be? And they still need a center.
So here's the thing that people don't talk about. They got a bunch of big people that are very mediocre. Jackson Hayes, mediocre. Christian Woods averaged a bunch of points a couple years ago, but plays no defense, doesn't rebound really well. So it's not great. It's not great, but who was Boston's center last year during the playoffs?
Before Porzingis got back, Horford.
Yeah, sometimes.
Who else they had?
See, right. So
okay,
you know what I'm saying. So yeah, the Lakers need a big body, but who was Golden State center when they won the play the last few years ago when they won the championship?
Kevon. They had Kevon and Draymond playing down low.
Okay, all right. So you see what I'm saying?
You need a decent center. You need a decent center.
He's a big body that's consistent, grabs rebounds when he has to, right?
But he can play defense on bigs.
All right, he can play defense on bigs. But
can't say Jokic. Jokic don't count.
Yeah, I was about to say, but nobody can play defense on Jokic. No one. So let's take that out of the equation. Really, the Lakers just have to figure out the max. And I give JJ Redick a lot of credit the way he does his offensive and defensive schemes, right? So you just have to figure out how to mitigate the other team's major big man to the point where you're not going to let everybody else beat you. So if the Lakers can live with Joker beating them, cool, because Joker beats everybody. Joker wins against everybody, right?
Right. So
I honestly think the Lakers can make the Western Conference Finals this year. right now as they're constructed.
This just made the Lakers so much more fun. Like this is.
They've been winning. They've been winning. Did you see them the other night? Did you see my boy AR-15 killing fools the other night with LeBron out and no Luka? Man, the hottest take I'm gonna tell you, man, the Lakers got the best trio of white guys in the league in years. They got Connect, Luka, and AR-15.
All of them shoot.
All of them can shoot, man.
And then they got some good defensive pieces, you know, some good athletic bodies. You got Jared Vanderbilt back. So you some rotation guys, Dorian Finney-Smith, a long body perimeter wing person.
Yeah, they've done Rob Pelinka has done a really good job of like constructing this team. And we ain't even gonna talk about Luka coming back on his revenge tour for the end of the season, bro. They were talking about. Did you see how in shape this fool looked? Did you see him in uniform, bro? They talking about that dude is 170. That dude looks slim and ready to give people work, bro. He is going to give people work. He's gonna drop 40 tonight, bro. This is his first game. This is his first game against Utah, bro.
Utah, they about to kill Utah, man. Bro. Oh, I guess it's 10 o'clock. Oh, I gotta stay up. I gotta stay up and watch that one.
Yeah. So I think Luka couldn't have gone to a better team. I know he was emotional because he seems to be a very loyal person. And that's great for the Lakers because the Lakers, if you're a superstar, if you are the man for the Lakers, they don't really get rid of you like that. So Luka will find a home. He will be beloved. And then he is going to be on a revenge tour probably for the rest of the next 3 years because he seems so petty that he's going to try to destroy everybody, which is great because I'm a Lakers fan.
Same. I love it. Love it, man. So do you think they can make it out of the West?
I don't think they'll make the finals this year. I think that they will make it to the Western Conference Finals. I think this summer they're gonna make some kind of move. I think this summer they're gonna do something crazy. But I think they can make it to the Western Conference Finals. I don't think that they can beat OKC or Denver right now.
All right, so I believe they can beat OKC.
I don't think they can beat OKC.
I don't think they can beat Denver just because we've seen it time and time. That is just their kryptonite matchup. Now, there could be a case where just depending on how seeding goes, if they can dodge Denver, then, you know, they might cook with something.
I think you're sleeping on OKC this year because
I am, man. I am sleeping on OKC.
They were so far ahead of schedule last year that when they lost early, everybody was like, "Oh, they're not as good as they are." They were ahead of schedule last year. SGA is by far the best player in the league right now, other than Joker. He's the best non-center in the league by far. And no one can guard him. Is just like nobody can guard Joker, nobody can guard SGA. And then Jalen Williams is the most underrated all-star in the league. And then their all-around defense is great. Their coaching is great. Oh yeah, and then Chet hasn't even touched the court since the first week of the season. So the biggest thing is when Chet comes back, and he's already, honestly, they were saying he could play right now. He's already started basketball. Non-contact playing right now. So when Chet comes back and they save him for the playoffs, and they have a decent starting center already that they took from New York last year, Hartenstein, who's playing great. You got my boy, the bald Mamba, Alex Caruso, I mean, they're just well constructed. It's a well-constructed team.
We're gonna see. All right. And the last big trade we'll speak on Jimmy forcing his way out of another locker room into a new one, and he played Saturday night, and he brought some energy to that Warriors team. It was fun to watch. So I will say the Warriors are fun to watch again. Not that they weren't too boring, but it's interesting. Hey, this is interesting. This is good for the league here. What do you think about this?
Nah. Man, I like the Warriors, man. I just don't. I don't see it doing anything. I don't see. I think it's a bad move for them. I think that it was a desperation
Desperate move.
Yeah, it was a desperate move after the Lakers got Luka. I think it was unnecessary. I think they didn't get any better. Like they're still not the top 16 in the West with Jimmy Butler.
All right. Do you think they got better or worse?
I think they're the same.
You think they're the same?
I think they're the same. I think that Jimmy in the playoffs is better than Wiggins, but I don't know if they're gonna make it to the playoffs. So like it'd be different. You can make a move like that if they're already number 4 in the seeding, but there's no guarantee that they'll even make the playoffs.
I think it was a good move. I mean, you look at Steph. Steph is 36. He's about to turn 37 soon, which is crazy. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, but Jimmy's 34, 35.
All right. I'm saying they had to make something shake, man. The Steph is got to be the same. I mean, how much longer can Steph still play and be the ace? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's desperate, but they are I believe they owe it all the stuff to try to do whatever they can to elevate the team and make them better.
Bro, that move is the same as signing like Bradley Beal. Like that's not gonna do anything for your team. I'm not trying to.
What? No, it's not Bradley Beal. Butler is way more valuable than Bradley Beal.
I'm not saying that Bradley Beal is the same caliber of player, but I'm saying honestly their numbers are similar, but it's not gonna move the needle anyway. Like neither one of those moves are gonna move any kind of needle for any team. Like that was Bradley Beal signing was a desperate move. Jimmy Butler signing was a desperate move. Right now, Golden State.
I'm not saying it's not desperate, but this did make the Warriors better. I'm not saying they're gonna run the table. It's gonna be crazy, but this did make the Warriors better. Like we talking about Steph about to reach the twilight of his career. Like what?
So saying it made him better is what they're gonna make it. Are they gonna make it out of the play-in?
I believe so.
So that made them good enough to be what, the number 6 seed, or are you saying they're gonna be one of the play-in teams? They'll be one of the play-in teams, right? So they're number 11 right now.
All right, they'll be a play-in team.
So you are gonna trade for somebody and sign them to a max, basically a max contract, just to get you into the play-in. Maybe for a chance to maybe get to the playoffs, to lose in the first round. I'm just saying, it doesn't.
They could win.
They're not gonna, dude. And I am a Golden State believer. You know that. How many times we talked about how much I have a lot of faith in Golden State. But you're gonna give Jimmy that money, but you didn't have enough money to give Clay 30 a year. You're gonna give Jimmy 60. Those are all.
But Jimmy's better at Clay than this at this point.
It's not even about being better. It's about the chemistry of a team. Like Golden State's record last year at this time with Clay was better than what their record is going to be with Jimmy. They're not going to change anything, because like look at it like this: the teams that are better than Golden State right now, every team that's ahead of Golden State, except for maybe Dallas, because Dallas might fall out of the play-in. But every other team,
the Clippers
are a lot better than them. The Clippers are better, and I hate the Clippers. The Clippers are better than the Warriors. Like James Harden is low key having a great season, and their team is having and let's not forget, Coach Lou is great coach, so they're gonna make the playoffs, or they could honestly slide into a top 6 seed. They're only a half a game behind Minnesota, so they still have a chance of being a top 6 seed. So already OKC's number 1, Memphis number 2, Denver's number 3, Houston's number 4, and Lakers are number 5, followed by Minnesota. Those are the top 6 seeds. Then you got the Clippers, Dallas, Sac, Phoenix, and then Golden State. Who's this? And then right behind Golden State, you have San Antonio. Who's to say San Antonio, now that they got Fox, won't be better than them?
Yeah, it's possible, but like I said, I just think I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm saying, I definitely think the Butler move was better than keeping Klay Thompson. Like I said, dude, Steph would be 37 in March. You got to do something. That's all I'm saying. Even if it was desperate, I understand the desperate move, but
I get it.
Yeah.
But why not? If you're desperate, then why not save that money and wait till this summer and find a real, no offense to Jimmy, find a younger star that's going to be disgruntled and save that capital to make a trade for somebody that's going to actually move the needle to move you into a position to win the championship. You're looking at Steph at the twilight of his career. Every move that they should make is so that they can win a championship. And is this Jimmy Butler move going to help them win the championship?
Look, it's going to help Steph finish his career playing meaningful basketball.
That don't matter. He's like, that's not the goal. That's not the goal of a 4-time champion. The goal of a 4-time champion is to what? Is to win a title.
Win a title. That's right.
So if it's not going to help you win a title, then why are you going to make this move?
We're gonna see. I don't think they're in title contention, but
no, they're not. They're not.
They'll be more fun to watch in the playoffs for sure.
Man,
but I'm saying this year could be it for Curry. That's my thinking. I think this could be it.
Curry is not done. That dude is still running around through screens, shooting everywhere. He is not done. He's even said he just signed an extension. He's got 3 more years after this. He's gonna play until 40 because shooting never dies. So then you're wasting capital that you can use to get an actual star. If Giannis is disgruntled at the end of this year, who is really their target, then you're giving away like capital that you can use to actually get Giannis that would actually put them in title contention.
I know, man, but guys when they get this old in the latter 30s, they drop off a cliff, man.
Shooters never drop off like that, man.
All right. We'll see.
Steph ain't dropping off like that. Steph looks better than he did before.
All right. So AllStar break coming up. Man, what do you expect to see post AllStar break? Like what teams do you really see making a stronger push? Who do you see falling off? Like what do you what you expecting post AllStar break?
I sadly expect to see Boston making a run at just getting ready for the playoffs. I think Cleveland still have the number 1 seed in the East. I think Boston will get better and solidify themselves. I think New York will start playing a little bit better, but I don't think anybody's afraid of New York at all at this time. I think that in the East, it's been great to see teams like Detroit move up. I think out West, I think OKC is going to continue to dominate the Western Conference. I think Denver will probably move up into the number 2 spot. And then I think the Lakers will end up. I think the Lakers can get hot and move into the number 4 spot and have home court advantage in the first round. I think Luka. I honestly think that down the stretch, this Luka. I'm telling you, I'm gonna get the T-shirts made. The Luka Doncic Revenge Tour coming to a stadium near you is gonna be crazy. And I'm tell you, I think that Dallas with Anthony Davis getting injured, I think they're out of any team that's in the playoffs right now, they have the biggest opportunity to drop out of the playoffs. And I think their GM is going to get fired. Those are my predictions.
Damn. Well, why do you think the GM will get fired?
This is the dumbest trade in playoffs in NBA history.
He didn't make that. I mean, he made the trade, but he businessed the trade. But of course, the owners were like, "Hey, man, get Luka out of here. Whatever, just get that out of here." That wasn't like his.
You know the whole story of that trade, bro?
No, what is it?
All right, so him and Rob Pelinka out having coffee. They're out because you know their history. They're actually friends. So,
okay.
Rob Pelinka was Kobe's agent,
right?
And the Dallas Mavericks GM, what is his name? Mavericks GM was a Nike rep, and he was the liaison for Kobe. So he already had a standing relationship with Rob Pelinka. They were out having coffee one morning. There's like photos of them having coffee. and he proposed, and he was like, "Hey, man, Nico Harris.
Nico, that's right.
Would you ever, would you guys ever trade Anthony Davis?" And Rob was like, "Nah, man, fool, I ain't trading Anthony Davis." He's like, but for Luka. And he's like, "Man, you playing?" And so he's like, "No." And so that was the beginning of the conversation. So flash forward like 3 weeks, they have a couple other discussions about it without involving anybody else. Then they present it to Dallas's board, the new owners who aren't even basketball people. Like they're a sports gambling group, which they were trying to get casinos put in the Dallas arena. So they're just trying to make money. They're not basketball people. So they went ahead and they presented that trade to the owners, and they spun that narrative that they'll never win with a 25-year-old, 5 times all NBA player who just got off the NBA finals by leading a team. Somehow he convinced that. Nico Harrison's problem was he was so used to seeing the work ethic of like Kobe. He was comparing all this stuff, like in LeBron, like the way that they train and all that stuff, not understanding that Luka is a European basketball player. They are not doing that. The same thing with Joker. Joker finally figured out his training regimen, but that dude is out in the summer like breeding horses. He ain't trying to hear that. That doesn't make him less of a player. So they presented that, and then without calling any other team in the NBA, they didn't propose that trade to anybody else. They traded for AD. And it's also because Nico Harris also was Anthony Davison's liaison when he was at Nike too. So they also had a standing relationship. So he wouldn't veto or feel any kind of way about that trade.
Mm.
So he's going to get fired because AD's already hurt. And he's still going to be hurt some more. And Luka is going to show out the rest of this year. If he does not get fired this summer, he's going to get fired next year. Because LA, the way this story is going to go, next year could be LeBron's last year, right? It could be LeBron's last year. Or he could put a battery pack into him and have him play an extra 2 years. But regardless, now I have, and I'm not a biggest LeBron fan, but I honestly think LeBron's going to get another championship off of having Luka on his team.
I mean, LeBron's still putting up 24, 8, and 9 with a 51% field goal percentage.
And his usage rate is about to
drop. Right. Let's give it to him. All right. About wraps it up for this segment of We the Champs. Uncle D, I appreciate you, man. This was a great episode. We're going to have to get back on it soon. You got anything else for our patrons before we head out?
Now, just get ready for a nice, weird All-Star weekend. Luka's playing with Giannis being out. They just announced your boy Trae Young is taking his spot today.
There we go.
There's probably going to be another sub with AD not playing. So we'll see who they're going to replace AD with. But it should be a weird weekend since they're doing the tournament style All-Star game, which would be kind of weird. But we'll see, man. Oh, and shout out to Kendrick Lamar, man. I think he had the best week ever. 5 Grammys, tap dancing on people's graves at the Super Bowl, and shout out to Serena Williams, man. I didn't know she could crit walk like that.
She did it at the Wimbledon, I think, one time.
Yeah, but she did this. Yeah, she did this with meaning.
Right. She rehearsed this one. Shoot, guys, that about does it. We appreciate you tuning in per usual. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hit that bell notification so you don't miss out on any of the action. From We the Champs, we out.
Peace.